Today's video is about that tank right there. This is our 120-gallon Seahorse Aquarium. It's built into the wall here. I did the other video on the 500, which is over there. This is the one that's right by the register, and this is definitely the one that I spend the most of my time on. Just like the last video, I'm going to go over all of the hardware, just like what we're running in it, and just the general care of the tank itself, and yell over all of the background noise back here. The aquarium itself is glass. It's drilled with these eShops overflow boxes. We have one on this side and one on this side. It drains down. This little red thing is an emergency overflow in case it gets too high, but it drains down through here, down into the sump, which was made by Joel. And we have 2 filter socks. We also have a phosphate GFO reactor, which then circles it around, puts it back into here. And we have a reef octopus skimmer, flows through there, biomedia, and then back up through the turn, out the middle section here. So you can see, just like all of the systems that we run in the store, we keep it pretty much as simple as possible. We don't put a whole lot of unnecessary stuff on systems. We just have an ATO and power heads and everything, just like any normal tank. The power heads that we're running are these Gyre 3Ks. We have one in that corner and one over in this corner. They don't run super high. You can see this guy's running only at max 40%, and I think this guy is the same. Yeah, max 40%. So they're only running 10% to 40% because the seahorses don't like a whole lot of flow, and you can see they're all kind of congregating over here on this Gorgonian, but we'll get to those coral and sponge specifics in a bit. You can tell by that awesome shimmer that we're getting in the tank that everybody, whenever they come into the store, comments on. We're running Kessel 360s. We have 3 of them over the tank, just mounted to the wall over the different brackets at the top of the tank, and it does a really good job of growing all of our coral that we have in here. Granted, we don't have many highlight corals. Keeping seahorses comes with a unique set of challenges when you're stocking the tank with coral. The species of seahorse that we have in this tank is the Erectus seahorse, and we like to keep their temperatures. They shouldn't be over 74, but we like to keep it in the low 70s, in that good range. So just right there, you've got some corals that wouldn't do so well in the colder climates, but you also have to look out for different corals that could sting seahorses, or that the seahorses could kill by wrapping their tails around them and grabbing onto them. Just in general, you want to stay away from SPS, but I gotta get this phone. Yeah, sorry, that was, that's what happens when you're running a store at the same time as filming the video. But where was I? Oh, right. Coral. We do still have some zoanthids in here. We have this Padoga cup coral, which is our main colony in here. I absolutely love this coral. It's just super interesting to watch all the time. But again, like I was saying, nothing super hard to keep, just like these leathers. You've got some Cineraria leathers right there, and that big neon green toadstool that seahorse is chilling out in right now. But one of the main eye catchers in this aquarium is obviously those, which are the original worldwide coral bounce mushrooms. We also have our bouncing soul mushrooms in here, which I was showing you in the 500 in the previous video, which you can check out up there. But just in general, we have a big zoa garden in this tank. Sorry, not zoa garden, mushroom garden. We have a big mushroom garden in this tank, and we also have sponges, like that spider sponge that everybody loves. It's I think it's an Aussie spider sponge. Again, don't quote me on that. We have this orange tree sponge as well, and then some Gorgonians that the seahorses like to hang on to. I actually have been trying to get this one to stand up, but it won't stand up at all. It's insanely heavy. It doesn't look heavy, but it's really, I'd say that's probably about 3 pounds. Now, the livestock that we have in this tank that swims around, we've got a mix of gobies. We have a captive bred mandarin, a black leopard wrasse, a blue striped pipefish, and everybody's favorite, the seahorses. Honestly, I have lost count at this point of how many are in here. I think we're around 12 or 13 mark. We only have 2 males, the rest are females, but they do breed pretty much constantly. And the smallest one we have in there is that little black guy right there hanging on to the Gorgonian. We also have that yellow one right there that everybody loves. The yellow ones are the more rare of the Erectus seahorses. Feeding for these guys is frozen mysis daily. They do actually eat a lot of food, which is the cause of a lot of issues in the tank. As you can see, we do have some algae. That's why I spend a lot of time working on this tank, because there is a lot of algae that ends up growing on it. I have to scrub off the rocks, pull them out. I'll scrub them out in the tank water, of course, not tap water. And then what I'll do is I'll flip them over so that the top that usually has all the algae will be in the shade and it won't be getting any more light. And so that algae ends up dying. And, you know, a couple of months later, the top of this rock is going to be covered in algae again. I'm just going to have to repeat the whole thing. But it is a good thing. It keeps the tank clean. It makes me do water changes at least every week. And it also changes up the rockscape in here, keeps things interesting, and, you know, allows me to fiddle around with what looks good and allows me to change things that I might not have liked for the past couple of months. But when this tank is clean, it is my favorite tank in the store, hands down. Eventually I'll get this Gorgonian to stand up straight.